Philadelphia Union have signed the 14-year-old Gavan Sullivan to a 4-year deal that's going to take him until 2028. This is going to be considered as the largest homegrown contract in Major League Soccer history. Sullivan has also become the youngest player in club history to be in the first team roster and the 5th youngest player to ink a first team contract in MLS history, which means since he is 14 years old, if he does make his debut for the Union on July 29th or before that, he will become the youngest player to make his debut among the top North American professional sports leagues, including the NHL, the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, the MLS, etc., as well as the youngest player to make his debut among the top 5 European soccer leagues. And this is, of course, according to Philadelphia Union. The previous youngest player to accomplish these type of things was Adu. I don't know if you guys remember this American, but yes, this was a player that made his MLS debut at 14 years old and 306 days on April 3rd, 2004 for DC United. And so Sullivan did sign a very lucrative deal. It does surpass the previous record that was held by Freddie Adu when he first signed to DC United in 2003. Adu's deal was worth around $550,000 per season. Sullivan's worth is going to be slightly above that. So this is a record deal. Like, this is a time for American soccer to be excited because we do have most likely a gem in our hands. Of course, we don't want to repeat what happened to our previous players, right? When it comes to pressuring these players to become an all-time great, always telling them that they need to reach this level by this age. No, we have to make sure that this player does progress in the best way possible, continue to up his confidence, and hopefully through all his hard work and determination to succeed, it can bring great things to US soccer. So the 14-year-old player is so good that even Jim Curtin, the head coach of Philadelphia Union, said that he can make his debut very soon. Like, it is a lot closer than people realize. And this is what he said, and I quote, "We're not afraid to put Cavan on the field when he's ready. He'll get on the field on merit. I'll just say it publicly. It is a lot closer than people realize. You know, again, our team, whatever you need that week, he's going to be called upon quickly because he deserves it." In terms of his history and what he has done over the past few months, last year, Sullivan was named as the Golden Ball winner after scoring 4 goals in the tournament, and he was also leading the US to the 2023 CONCACAF Boys Under 15 Championship, the first time the team has ever won the tournament. But there was a very important moment not too long ago when Manchester City were looking at the player when he was in Spain last April. He scored twice for the US Under 15s against England. Many of the Man City scouters were there. Sam Fagbemi, who is the head of academy recruitment, saw Sullivan and he said, "This is a player that does interest us and a player that is very talented and can bring great things to Manchester City, hopefully in the future." And that is what's going to lead me towards the deal that he does have with not just Philadelphia Union, but with Manchester City. It says here, according to ESPN, Sullivan has a release clause that will allow him to transfer to the English Premier League side Manchester City after he turns 18 years old. This is what the head coach of the second team of the Philadelphia Union team had to say. He's super talented, clearly, otherwise we wouldn't be sitting here having the discussion, but he's got the attacking mindset that is fearless. He creates goals, he scores goals, he can do it in every facet, which is true. Like, I saw a couple of games coming from the player. This guy has such advanced soccer IQ for his age. I'm like, where did you even learn this? Clearly, this is pure talent. And the fact that he has the ability to read plays, of course, he can find those key passes that can be deadly for any opponent. He can also advance the ball well, put himself in goal-scoring positions. It's just amazing. I strongly believe that this is a generational talent. The sky is going to be the limit for this player. And hopefully, Philadelphia Union can just be that platform, right? That foundation that would allow for Sullivan to progress in the most natural way possible. Keep in mind that teams like Dortmund, Real Madrid, and Bayern Munich also wanted the player, but he chose Manchester City. And because he does have a German passport, he did not have to stay at Philadelphia Union on his 16th birthday to go to England or to Europe in general, but he chose to stay with the Philadelphia Union. And that to me is amazing. The sporting director of Philadelphia Union, Ernest Tanner, also stated, "Everybody knows he is probably one of the biggest talents on the globe. It was important we could keep him with us, and that is what we tried to avoid." So in regards to his agreement with Manchester City, like I have said, he will go to Manchester City once he does turn 18 years old. Of course, if he's good enough by that time, which is in about 4 years. This is the earliest possible date that a Premier League club can sign an overseas talent, and January 2028 will be the earliest transfer window where Sullivan can finally make his move. Now here's the thing, and this is where it does get very interesting. If he does end up being too good for the MLS, like let's just say that he is scoring 20 goals per season and that he's providing 10 assists per season, and he's just too good, right? He's like outgrowing the MLS, and City see that and they want this player to continue to get tested because the MLS is simply just too easy for him. There's also a clause in the contract where he would be allowed to go to Girona from Spain or Palermo in Italy once he does turn 16 years old or 17 years old. The reason why Girona and Palermo are eligible to grab the player before 18 is because these are two city football groups. So Manchester City can say, yes, that's fine. If Sullivan ends up being just too good for the MLS, he can go elsewhere to continue to test his talents and his football, which is Girona and Palermo. Because again, he holds a German passport. He can do that. He has that eligibility. As long as Man City has some sort of ties with the player, they will be okay with that. So it's a very interesting move, because if you look at the history of great American players going to Europe, Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna, they had European passports, and because of that, they were able to skip the MLS and go straight to Europe. Christian Pulisic and Gio Reyna went straight to Borussia Dortmund. Weston McKennie was a slightly different case because he spent time with the FC Dallas Academy, but right before he was about to go to the first team, he said, no, I'm okay. I don't want to go to the first team. I just want to go to Germany and go with Schalke. And so again, I'm happy for the player. I'm sure that this guy is going to do wonders. He even stated, to be honest, nothing has really happened yet. The work starts now. I have to do a lot. My main goal is to win the MLS Cup. And so his head is right. He knows that just because he's projected to be so good, it does not mean that he does not have to work no more. He knows that there's a lot of work to do. He knows that if he wants to become a true world beater, it's going to take a lot more than just talent. And Sullivan does know that. So that is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.